Cause you don't know football. Reek put us together like the Avengers. For the love of the game, this ain't for the pretenders. Used to strap them up, that's why we qualify. So when I tell you you don't know, I won't apologize. It get ugly on the gridiron, and I'm tired of watching all of these analysts misfire. This raw ain't politically correct, but either way you put it, man, we blessed. Tell y'all networks they should get hip to us. Moving on to big things when they pitch to us. A hot take can make you put on the gloves, but at the end of the day, it's all love. So as you gon' bring the stats to the room, or maybe the eye test to the Zoom, just know we appreciate y'all. But cause you don't know football, cause you don't know football, cause you don't know football, cause you don't.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this next one first. I'm gonna do the Chicago Bears.
All right.
Fatal flaw for the Chicago Bears. Once again,
Hit them.
what is this philosophy, this growing philosophy that you don't need 2 pass rushers to win a Super Bowl? Why did you not go get Trey Hendrickson? Why did you not try to give up the pick? You could have given up the picks to go get Max Crosby. Why did you not go do that? Like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? Your wide receiver core is better than we thought it was going to be. You know, your quarterback, you got Caleb Williams on a rookie deal. This is when you say, all right, we mortgage the future right now, and we're going to get him a ring. Before he gets paid, and you decide, you know, this is good enough. I don't see any major additions to the Chicago Bears. Like, I just don't. But pass rush, I promise you, that is why they won't win the Super Bowl with this clearly exceptional quarterback, Caleb Williams.
Man, Tariq, you're reading off my notes. I have defensive line as well. It's so obviously their issue. And look, I will defend them a little bit in the sense that, like, again, talking about the vision. They had a lot of players that were injured last year. Shamar Turner was a second-round pick for them last year. He was injured. Austin Booker showed flashes. He was hurt. And Dio Dangbo also was hurt. So, you know, I kind of understand the logic, but they're like, look, Dennis Allen, year 2 in the system. They'll be improved because of just a second year in the system, and we're getting an influx of some players back. I can understand why they would say, we don't need to invest heavily in our defensive line. And, you know, if we call, let's say last year they were the 26th best defensive line, right? If these additions can get them to the 18th best defensive line or the 16th best defense, somewhere in that range, they're not banking on that being the strength of their team. They're banking on, we're going to have a top 3 offense. So if they can just make it to where it's not bleeding profusely on the defensive line, I can see where they're coming from. But I mean, I do agree with you. Like, if there is an area on this team that we could get to November and go, this is just a problem, it's absolutely their defensive line and their inability to rush the passer.
See, I disagree with what you just said. I disagree with what you just said in this. I think quarterback is the second most niche position in the NFL. When we talk about a pass rusher, it's a guy that is exceptional among exceptionals. Like, that person has to stand out. So even if you had deep defensive line depth, that's phenomenal. But at the end of the day, when you get to the playoffs, a team is going to put you in a position, and they're going to look at you and they're going to say, can he get to me with 4 pass rushers? Can they get to us with 4 pass rushers? If that is, and they're going to test it. If that answer is no, you're going to lose to someone in the playoffs. The NFL is just too good for that. And I think the difference between having a good starting level pass rusher and a guy that can go get you 16 sacks a year is a completely different kind of animal, a completely different kind of talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think you're hitting at something that's really interesting, because I think something we are seeing is you're seeing teams move away from saying, like, we need to have that all-star pass rusher, and if we can just get a stable of guys that are really good, we can do it. Like what Seattle did, what Philadelphia did. But I think something that you're saying that is very true, that is underrated, is you still need some guys that could just go win. And if you can have
team for this,
you can have a bunch of solid guys, but ultimately, like, the reason the Seahawks win is not just because they have a bunch of guys, it's because they have a bunch of really good guys. And the ability to again, exactly what you said, getting home with 4. If you can't get home with 4 at least some of the time, you're in trouble because now you're talking about having to send blitzes. You're having to get a little more exotic, which Dennis Allen is comfortable doing, but it just changes the math. You go from having 7 guys on the back end to 6, and you got to cover 5 with 6. That's just more space those guys got to cover. So, no, I hear what you're saying. Like, and I think the concern is valid that even though they do have some solid guys coming back, are they going to be real difference makers, or is it more just depth?
Yeah, man. It's just I don't know. Whatever. We can move on. Talk more about that later. But I just don't understand. I'm befuddled by. I shouldn't be using words about befuddled with NFL, but I'm.
Can I say I'll say one more thing about the Bears. Something to watch out too is last year they led the league in turnovers on defense. They were amazing at it. That is something that does not translate season to season. So I mean, they had the 25th best defense last year with the most turnovers in the league. If that just regresses back to the mean, just back to average, what is that going to look like on this defense? You know, like that could really hurt this defense a lot because they struggled. The only way they were getting off the field reliably last season was they were taking the ball away. And if they weren't taking the ball away, they were giving up 70-yard drives routinely.
Right. And that's what I wanted to say. Because we got time right now, because we only got one other team. So we actually got a little bit of time. Scheme is phenomenal. There's some great schemes. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the Ravens, their defensive scheme allows them, they lead the league in sacks in the regular season. You do understand that. Like they're like top 5 every year in sacks. When it comes to the playoffs, it completely changes because you either have to blitz or you just can.
It's true. It's true. Well, and I'll say this. I was listening to a conversation. I think it was on the Athletic Football Show, and something that they have a host named Robert Mays, and something he has been on a lot recently is the idea that on offense you can get by with scheme, and while on defense you're having like this renaissance with Mike McDonald and all these different Fangio style schemes and the evolution of that. Ultimately, to have success on defense, you just need talent. You need guys that can go win, that can cover a lot of space, that can go win on those one-on-ones on the line. And if, you can have as great of a scheme as you want, but if you don't got guys that can win up front or guys that can cover, you're just screwed. You just need the talent on the defensive side of the ball in a way that you don't necessarily on the offensive side.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
need a
100%.
guy. Do you see what I'm saying? You
100%.
just said it.
Yeah, 100%. No, I totally agree. Totally
It doesn't
agree.
matter what you were going to do. You can't stop him. Okay.
Mhm.
You need that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's basically that. Okay. All right, cool. So last team of this episode, man, this has been fun. The Denver Broncos. Jake, what's their thing?
Dude, this one is so tough because off the rip, no team is perfect. The Broncos are pretty close. They are a great team. Like, I really love this team, and it's one of those where I think because they just didn't do a lot this offseason, we kind of hand wave and go, yeah, they're good, but like they're really good.
Right.
If I'm gonna nitpick the Broncos, I'm gonna say depth is an issue. They have issues at depth in their linebacking room. They have issues at depth in their tight end room. Last year, they were one of the healthiest offensive lines in the NFL. If that regresses a little bit, not saying they don't have depth there, but we're going to see some guys play that we didn't really see play last year. What does that look like? So, I think if there is an issue, this team just has some areas of its team that they could stand to have a couple more guys in those rooms. But again, like, that's kind of nitpicking. Like, this is a really good roster.
Yeah, I'm gonna nitpick too. Fatal flaw of the Broncos is running back.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah. So they have J.K. Dobbins, they have R.J. Harvey. I think they're good, but when has J.K. Dobbins not been hurt? So when you really look at it, you're looking at R.J. Harvey and Jonah Coleman as their running backs because we can predictably say J.K. Dobbins is going to get hurt this year at some point. And I feel as though whatever needs to be covered up and to help Bo Nix the best way possible in the playoffs, because they're going to be there, controlling the clock and forcing the defense to have to stop the run, I think would aid in giving the defense a break, making it easier for Bo Nix to be Bo Nix, and them not having that, I think that will be their fatal flaw this year.
No, I think that is a great pick because, they again, I was a big fan of RJ Harvey coming out last year. I really thought he was going to be a big difference maker for them. He, again, he's young. It's early. But yeah, he was not the game breaker that I think I really wanted him to be. And, again, I'm just pulling up these stats right here in real time. They were 12th in success rate last year on running the ball. Like, it's not bad, but I think what you're saying does make sense. And, one thing I will say to kind of add to this general conversation is, again, talking about regression. Last year, they were 12-3 in one possession games. We see, again, not to say it'll flip.
It flips. It flips.
It's not, I mean, it's not going to be so egregious. They're going to go 3-12, but like,
I know, but it flips.
even if they go 6-6 next year, like that's a difference of 3 games. So, and I think having a steady running back stable helps mitigate some of that because it allows you to control the clock. It allows you to take pressure off your quarterback, take pressure off the defense. And, if they can't run the ball successfully, if it's kind of a similar thing and Bo Nix is having to be a little more heroic last season, like he was last season, I could see that being a problem for them.
Yeah, and then Bo Nix, I mean, the problem with Bo Nix has always been the first 3 quarters, not the fourth quarter, the first 3 quarters. So
really
I
good
want
at
my
the fourth.
first 3 quarters, slow down all the other 3 quarters.
Come out on script, yeah. And I am curious, like they have Davis Webb taking over for play calling. I'm very curious to see what he is going to cook up for this offense. I'm excited about what he can do. So we'll see.
Okay. Man, this is the first time you've been here, man. You got anything? Shout out your podcast, man.
Yeah.
To tell about what's going on, what you got cooking up.
No, yeah, it's me and my friend. He kind of takes the off seasons off a little bit, so I'm kind of just running the ship. But we try to produce a podcast currently in the off season, kind of once a week during the season, and during kind of peak points of even the off season, we're doing it twice a week, every episode Monday and Thursday. Yeah, I mean, I try to post content every day on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm not always successful, but we are very active there. I'm constantly leaving comments on people's stuff. You can come argue with me. I'm always down for an argument. So, yeah, I say, talk about me with your friends, talk about me at the water cooler, just let me know what you think and, give me a like, give me a share, give me a rating. So appreciate anybody who wants to check me out.
Well, as someone who has looked at some of your reels and some of your content, I can definitely tell you guys out there, we can go watch From the Pocket, okay?
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Go check it out. Okay, so with that said, we're gonna wrap this thing up. You can catch our full episodes on Spotify and YouTube, and you can catch the reels on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Just, man, we're all over the place. And man, you came in here and you tore it down today, man. I salute to you.
Thanks,
with
man.
that said, unfortunately, I got to do you just like I do everybody else and tell you, cause you don't know football. I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm gonna see you next time, bro.
All right, take it easy, Turi. Thanks for having me on, everybody. Appreciate you.